Now this is Hollywood Unlocked. What up, everybody? It's Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee.
I'm Melissa Ford, a.k.a. the Curve Queen.
Yep, it's DJ Damage.
Yo, we have a real legend in the building, Deborah Cox.
Hey.
I don't know how this happened, but thank you for coming.
Thank you. I know amidst all the crazy stuff going on.
No, but just the fact that you're a
Yeah.
legend. I mean, with the last legend we had here was John, but you're like an R&B pop legend.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
legend
you.
okay? Is that a respect?
Legend is okay. I'm living it, owning it.
Iconic.
And yes,
Good
I
for you.
love iconic and I love legend. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of the times we don't like to take credit for the work that we've done. I mean, I've always had this idea, or I've always grown up to be this wear your humility, always be humble and stuff, and it's cool. But sometimes you have to big up your chest. You have to big up
Big
your
up.
chest, big up yourself. You know what I mean?
No, because I mean, I feel like some people don't like the word legend or icon because they feel like it's a
Like
dated
it dates
thing.
them,
But I feel
right.
like
I used to feel like that.
Really?
I used to think that, yeah. And again, that stupid. Like, when are we going to celebrate our accomplishments?
Mm-hmm. Right.
When are we, you know what I mean? Like, we can wait till, we really can't do nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? No. This is the time to celebrate all the experiences, all the people that I've inspired and touched, and, so I own it.
Well,
I own it.
besides you being a legend, I'm excited because you're a hometown hero.
I
We're
did
both
not
from
know that.
Toronto.
I did not
Here we
know
go.
this. What?
Here we go.
Canada's taking over.
Damage. Let's just sit here and wait till
I
it's done.
love it.
No, you have no
You're from
idea.
Toronto?
I'm born and raised. I went to
Me
I went to
too.
Oakwood Collegiate.
Oh
I lived.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Okay,
shut
so
up.
Oakwood.
Listen, you
Oakwood
guys
is-
do this
Collegiate.
whenever somebody from Stockton or the Bay is here. So
Right.
give me a couple of minutes.
We
to
need a
just
moment.
do
Okay,
this
wait,
You know what I'm
first,
saying? You don't-
wait,
you don't
All
often-
two people
For all
from
our
Stockton.
listeners in Compton, just hold on a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I grew up around Dufferin and Eglinton.
Yes, that's a
So
real.
you know where
I
this
know where
is.
that is.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
Dufferin and Eglinton. Yeah,
And my father's from Barbados, so yeah, no, I heard the guys and yeah, Bayesian Queen, yeah.
That is a very hard accent to copy. Bayesian.
We're so
That's
sing-songy.
hard.
Are y'all
Yes,
bringing
very
out the
sing-song.
Canadian
We're bringing
accent?
out
I'm
the
like,
Canadian
I'm like,
Bayesian.
well, see, we have to keep the conversation English because the coronavirus is spread, and I don't want to switch up the energy.
No,
No, I love it. How long have you been here?
I've been here. My anniversary is September 11th. I got here the year
wow.
before the towers came down.
Oh my God.
And when the
Soon as
towers
Melissa came.
and when the towers came down, everybody from Toronto was calling me. They're like, "Are you coming home
you
now?"
good?
I was like,
Right.
"They're gonna have to bomb my house. I'm not coming back."
Not happening.
Is there something about being from Toronto? And you're like, we're really proud of being from Toronto and being Canadians.
Yeah.
But once you get out,
Once you leave, it's a different energy. And I
Yeah.
think, there's a grind that happens in New York and LA, Chicago, you know what I mean? Certain cities. And Toronto has a different kind of grind. It's
Yeah.
a different kind of thing.
And the
So-
whole thing about you not wanting to celebrate your accomplishments and stuff,
yeah.
that's
We
because
always downplay
we're
our-
Canadian. We're really pragmatic
And
and,
we're really
sensible,
nice.
and we're really nice.
Yeah.
Like when you step on our foot, we say sorry.
Not everybody. Everybody in Toronto ain't nice.
Okay, well,
I've been up there.
We're a different breed.
Okay.
Okay, we're a different breed. I can't really speak for the youngins now because
Yeah, it's different.
Well,
They speak a whole different
let's be
language.
clear. We're all still young. I mean,
Yes.
we're relative.
Yeah,
we're all
we're
the same
young,
age.
young.
Okay.
I'm talking about like the
But let me
teenagers,
say something.
20s.
Right.
For people that don't get
20s.
for people who don't have the privilege of sitting this close to Deborah Cox, it's too bad. But you have great skin and you're very beautiful.
Oh, thanks so much.
And you just
Thank
walked in the room. So typically, we our guests are typically late. But Deborah came
will
early
never-
today.
Yeah.
Door just opened
With
and
no
Deborah.
in-
And she just
Entourage.
came in like.
She just walked in. We were like, "Oh,
Hey.
hi.
Yeah.
We're
No, it's I
not
don't know.
ready."
So is that
What it
humility thing? Is that a Toronto thing?
I think so. I think it's definitely a Canadian thing. I think it's funny because I met another Canadian at Michael Costello's design at his showroom, and she was so low key, chill, relaxed, and she's like been on like 5 Netflix movies and just killing it. And
Yeah.
she's just like, yeah, you're from, and we got to talking, and the girl is just real level headed, cool, and she was talking about the cool part of having this anonymity, where she is completely anonymous here, but if she goes to Italy or anywhere abroad, they know her from all of her shows, and as a Canadian, that's kind of the the duality of it. Because as a Canadian, you're like, you know, you can live amongst all the celebrity life and the Hollywood life, but you're not caught up in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can just, you know, you're good.
Whenever people would say, Melissa, you're so grounded, stay
Yeah.
that way, I'm like, I don't have a choice. I'm
You have
Canadian.
No choice. You don't know any other way.
I'm Canadian. That's
Yeah.
always the answer.
It's true.
So speaking of staying grounded, you've worked with some of the best of them. So Tamia, Kelly Price, and Whitney Houston. I did a party with Whitney, and she died the next day. That was our connection because I didn't know I didn't know your relationship with Whitney. So being around all these other greats and you being so great, who do you like? Like, who are you a fan of?
That's a good question. I'm a fan of the people that are not in front of the camera. I'm a fan of the people that can hold it down and not all the time get the recognition that they deserve.
So like
The
background
underdogs,
vocalists?
Background vocalists, the ones that have sung backgrounds for people who are singing the leads, supposed to be singing the leads, who are the ones who have made a pact with the industry to stay in the cut.
In the
That's
background,
old
yeah.
school, you know, to stay in the cut in order to see someone else move forward. You know what I mean? Like those are the kind of those kind of people I wouldn't.
I wouldn't make that
no,
sacrifice.
at some point, it's like you know, but you know, I've met everybody. I've met kings and queens. I've met everybody. I've met.
Have you met Michelle
sultans
Obama yet?
Yes.
Have you really? You guys kind of have a similar.
It's the Canadian.
Right.
Canadian.
Oh,
shit.
She's not She's not Canadian. Michelle Obama.
She's from Chicago. She might
I
as
thought you were
well.
talking
From
about us,
Chicago.
yeah.
She's from Chicago. So
Okay, yeah,
she
yeah,
might as
no.
well be Canadian.
That's not the
It's
same
cold.
thing.
I mean, it's freezing.
It's cold as hell.
freezing.
Chicago and Toronto.
Have you
Yes.
seen the snow? I mean, maybe not this year,
As
but
a matter of fact, I was in Chicago one time in the winter, and I was like, okay, I thought it was cold in Canada.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is some next level
It's a
shit.
whole other thing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insanity.
You can never get used to it.
so you've been performing since 12 years old. Did you know, like your whole life, was this just plan A? There was no plan B, that this is what
Yes.
you wanted to do?
Absolutely.
Really?
I knew I was probably about 6 or 7. I knew that singing, I mean, it was something, I just knew I had a different voice from everybody else. I was singing in talent shows, I was doing commercial jingles, I was doing all that stuff. I was grinding, I was in bands, I was a background singer, I was doing it all. And I knew that music was something that I wanted to do. It was going to help me get out of the situation that I was in, which was, a little bit of, the dysfunctional family kind of thing and the certain dynamics and being poor. I just hated not having, other opportunities like other people. So I knew that music was going to be the way out.
Did you think it would take you all over the world?
Did you think it was going to take you out of
I
Canada
just-
in the beginning?
Wow. I always saw myself out of there, but I didn't know
How it was gonna
it was
happen.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because we had no black radio. We had no soul. We had no...
Please
There
tell
was
him.
nobody that I could look to and say, I want to do that. It was Whitney that I saw on a show. I heard her voice, and that was a game changer. I was like, who is that? That's what I want to do. And that was the only reference that I had.
Yeah.
And so it just became my path.
So I recently saw Shaka Khan in Chicago at the All-Star game, and I had said to her, because I had met her before, but I never had a conversation with her, and I
Yeah.
said, I really like how she held Whitney down when she passed away. Like, she was one of the most public vocal voices in music to say, hey, like, I'm not going to let the media define Whitney Houston. I'm going to
Right.
tell you how she was this, she was that. When you saw how the media treated her in her passing,
Yeah.
what did you think?
I mean, I just thought they were vultures, I think people forgot that this was a human being, that this is a person that took a lot on her shoulders to, create this amazing legacy of music and stuff, and she was just shit on, you know what I mean? So, that bothered me and that frustrated me as a fan, as a person who loved her music, as a person who was inspired by her. And so when the opportunity came to do, it was a Lifetime movie, and Angela Bassett called me to do it.
See how she just threw that name out, Angela Bassett.
I need
My good
to,
friend.
who's my favorite actress in the world.
she's queen, and I hold our friendship, and so I revere our friendship and respect it. You know what I mean? So when she called me to do the vocals, I was like, absolutely. I mean, this woman needs to be celebrated, and so we did the best that we could with the time that we had, with what we had to work with. And I went and I sang, I think it was 6 songs. We did it, knocked it out, and And then the Bodyguard musical came maybe 6-7 months later.
See, everybody's not
So
called
different.
to sing Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Tinashe's not getting that call.
Right, I got you.
She's
But
not.
I think that it's really, it's about the heart, and I think people know that the heart that I have for her, and people know the respect and admiration, and so I think a part of that went into, the call.
And also the fact that you're not a studio singer. You
Right.
are an official singer.
Right.
Sang the brakes off a motherfucker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I studied, I studied and I
sang with
worked
Celine
at
too,
it.
right?
Absolutely, yeah. And she was the one who taught me about discipline, that you can't smoke and drink. Look, there's people that can do all of that and still sing and be okay. That's not me. I can't do all of that. I need to have voice rest. I need to make sure I have rest. I need to drink tons of water. There's a lot that goes into what I do. And so I, again, respect the craft, and put my time in learning how to create and do certain things, to try and create the essence of her voice when I need to and when I'm asked to. And then I leave it there, and then I do Deborah Cox.
What do you think about the Whitney Houston hologram?
And I spoke to, the family. I just recently saw them at a function and stuff. And I think,
Who, Pat Houston?
both her and Ulysses. And it's like, I don't know the position that they're in, and I can't speak on them. I know that there are a lot of people that miss her music, that miss her presence, that miss her star shining, and I don't know what they're getting from that show. So I can't say that it's right or wrong, and I don't know all the dynamics that go into because this business. It's very, very, there's a lot. It's complicated. So, that's it.
After it's all said and done, would you want a Deborah Cox hologram show?
No, I wouldn't want, no.
Why
I
not?
don't think it would serve. Well, you never say never. Never say never. You know what? You don't know what you don't know what you don't know what the circumstances are. You don't know how it's serving the people who are fans.
Yeah.
You don't know what that does for people. I mean, yeah.
Just strictly from a fan point of view.
From a fan point of view.
After watching Beyonce Homecoming live, like standing there watching it, I could never go back and watch Beyonce
and watch
hologram.
something.
I'd be,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But
No, I get that.
I remember when they did the Tupac hologram, and I thought it was
Disrespectful.
dope. I thought
And
it was
that's
dope.
the thing. But
I'm talking about as
see,
a
you saw that
fan
one.
looking at just not the business of it.
Yeah.
Missing Tupac and so many people not being able to experience
get
that, that superstar power. It was just
Yeah.
dope to see him on the stage. Like, it was dope.
And that's what I mean. These fans, these people that love the music, the art of it, you can't speak for them. You know what I mean? So there's an example right there of someone that was, you loved it.
Yeah.
You loved the show. You know.
So you've sang with Celine, you've sang with Whitney, you've sung Whitney's songs, you've performed with all these people. When you look at R&B singers of today, do you kind of look at them and just go, "What is this microwavable bullshit that the industry is spitting out?"
That's not what I say.
No, I know that's what.
Are you just gonna,
No, that's what I.
that ain't what I say. Oh,
No, because I'm just trying to.
He said, do you?
No, because I think of okay, the party we had with Whitney the day before she died. It was Whitney Houston, Faith Evans, Keke Wyatt, Anthony Hamilton,
Some singers.
El DeBarge, who else was? Monique. It was just like a bunch of real singing. And I'm a huge R&B fan. I'm R&B before hip hop, R&B and church. Like that's just my thing. What's changed?
I mean, a lot has changed. But the times have changed. You know what I mean? We have to learn to move with the times and accept that the times are going to change. Every day we're getting older. Every day shit's changing. And it's inevitable. So we have to learn to embrace it and try to be there for the ones that are coming up, that are new, that are trying to figure themselves out. You know what I mean? And help them work through the transition of it all, because that part of it is really difficult and tough, and I think for these new artists that are coming up, we've got to continue to celebrate the pioneers that are still here.
Facts.
So that they know who to look to. Like, we need to inform them. They're just not informed. The new, some of the new school artists, they're just not. And that's not their fault.
Is it common for someone like a Deborah Cox to reach out to like a young R&B star that you think is promising or that you enjoy?
Is
Yeah.
there
Is that
anyone you're
common amongst the
mentoring
board?
at the time?
I can mentor. I can mentor when I have the platform to do so. So, case in point, I have new music out right now. I need y'all to support it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Done.
Like, I need radio. I need all the DSPs to get on board, play it, play the shit. You know what I mean? So that I can do what I do. If you want me to help lead and support, I need that support as well. And because I'm not dead yet. Like, I'm not. You know what I mean? So. It's just like, that's the only way that we're going to be able to pass on the baton. And that was how it was for Patty and Whitney and Gladys and all of our pioneers that are still here. They were able to pass on the baton to us because they had a platform. Radio was playing them. You would see them on, whatever, BET. You'd see them on these different shows, and you know what I mean? But now, as soon as you hit a certain age, they're ready to write you off. They're ready to just like retire you, which is ridiculous.
But that's where I think, like, instead of Deborah reaching out to this generation, whatever, like it's a symbiotic relationship where everybody has to be reaching, right?
True.
Like a lot of the, I feel like I say microwavable artists. It's just like, what's hot right now? What can I get out right now? There's the pressure of what's next, instead of like creating like music that lasts forever. Like your music is gonna last forever. Whitney's music is gonna last forever. Faith Evans' music's gonna last forever. And I struggle sometimes. I think like Beyonce's barely getting into music that's gonna last a long time, because we ain't gonna be 70 talking about bills, keep paying my bills. And,
Wow.
you know
That's
what I mean?
Destiny's Child. That's different. That's not
Right.
Beyonce.
She was
But that's-
singing lead on the track.
Those were also, those were classic songs in that time too.
Yeah.
You know, but I understand what you're saying, the style of it, the type of soul music, but we can't keep singing, you know what I mean, stuff from yesteryear.
Is
we
there-
have to keep growing.
Is there
Some
anybody?
songs you can keep singing.
You can.
I
but
mean,
we
nobody's
can't
supposed to
keep-
be here. I look at somebody
still
like, how
sing
did
that.
you get here?
Yeah.
You gonna always ask a nigga
song-
next to you, like, how you get here?
That song's still good.
Deborah, is there anybody?
still good.
Is there anybody that you love inside of the genre of R&B right now? Like, let me give you a suggestion.
Okay.
Another hometown hero, Division. Have you heard of them? DVSN.
I have.
Oh, you got to download their album
Okay.
right
See,
right
there's
now.
So much music.
I
Snow Allegra.
swear I can
So
pass
much.
it all
I mean,
on to
okay,
you.
Are you
Please do.
leading her on to
I
somebody
know,
she's
wait,
supposed to
hold on.
like?
But this is Melissa. Do you? I want to ask you who you like right now. Division. You gotta like them.
No, she's good.
You
she's,
gave her
Girl.
her suggestion.
Okay, only reason I suggested them brought them up is because they're also from Toronto.
also
I'm
really
sorry, I'm
good.
having a moment here, okay? It's very
Clearly.
rare that I get like one of my hometown heroes here.
Clearly.
So,
But I mean, there's Summer Walker. There's Ari Lennox.
Oh,
Like,
no,
there's,
I'm not
you know,
even talking
there's
about the
so
ones
many
that you
people.
hear about all the time, because that's what we're talking about is artistry that doesn't get discovered, like Xavier Omar.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. Exactly.
And it's when you
He's-
mention the name that I go, oh yeah.
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 Exactly.
Yeah.
So like there's some R&B artists that aren't really being talked about
Yeah, true.
every single day, and their music isn't played on the radio,
yeah.
but they're true artists. Like I think their music will stand the test of time if it's ever heard,
Right.
And
And that's what I mean. We just have to have platforms where we can get people to know and hear about all this great artistry and all these great musicians. You know what I mean?
There does need to be like an R&B festival. Not saying there's
need,
not
like-
one, but
Right.
like
Well, we have
more.
We
Yeah.
need more.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mix the the legends and the icons with some people that are young and promising, if it makes sense. But I don't know, what is that space like? Is there a lot of love between the R&B community? How does that work?
Like, when we get a chance to see and meet each other, like I just did a photo shoot with Seven Streeter, Melanie Fiona,
Okay.
Brandy. Brandy wasn't. So in short, there's a concert coming up, Femme It Forward, and so we did this cover shoot for it, and all of us were in the room. It was electric. It was just inspiring just to be around all these different ladies who have come up at different times in the business. and to hear each other's stories and to support each other. You know what I mean? That's when it happens. Is when there's an opportunity at an award show or, you know, again, at some kind of function where we can actually get in the room together and we ain't got all the middlemen and the managers and the this and all these gatekeepers that keep us artists away from each other, you know? So I think if there's more things that are curated where we can get, you know, into a room and just and sing and just, you know, have a moment where we can just, you know, share music and stuff, I think it would be great, and you would see a lot more collaborations happening.
One time I criticized Sam Smith, and I just used him as like the face of the conversation. I just said, I feel like people don't like R&B music unless white people are singing it.
I mean, they get more support. I mean,
Why is that? Why?
it's the same thing that's been going on for decades. You know, unfortunately, the color of your skin, when it's of the lighter persuasion, you get the support for some reason. You know,
And it's
just
crazy because it's
blatant
our music.
racism. Yeah, I mean, it's just we know the origin of it, but I could sing a Sam Smith record and it won't get played. It'll sound they'll have
Urban
all
AC.
these excuses. Yeah, they'll have all these
Yep.
excuses why, you know, stay with me. Why can't I sing that song?
They'll probably try to force it in
Stay
gospel. They'll just put it
with me.
somewhere,
Yeah, exactly.
anywhere.
Really
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, which is limiting, and that's the problem that I have with these boxes. It's so limiting, and so I got frustrated, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and do something completely different. I went into Broadway and did all those different shows. I did Aida, I did Jekyll and Hyde, I did the Bodyguard, and it took me outside of the whole industry for a minute, which was great for me to just kind of regroup and figure out how to navigate again through this new industry, which is what it is now. It's completely different. It's completely new now.
Damn.
So
But it's new in a good way, yeah, because now somebody of your stature can put out music, quote unquote, on their own and feed direct to consumer. You know, give the music that your fans want directly, with no one telling you what the people need to hear and stuff. So I do feel like you've took a hiatus. Well, I wouldn't say a hiatus, but a route around for it to come back to exactly where it needed to be. It's a good time right now for music.
It is a good time, I think, because we have, like you said, that we have that engagement with our audience. And social media has helped a lot.
I was just
changed
about to
the
ask,
game
are
a
you
lot.
active? Or like
I am now.
Okay.
I used to have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, oh my
I feel
God,
you.
I feel like I'm doing this shit all the time, always on the phone, you know. But now you kind of have to be, and it's great because you get that feedback right away. You know when people are feeling a song, when they're not feeling a song. You can test out music without putting out all this money to go and then you realize that it's not a hit. So now you can just, you know, test it out if they like it, if they want to hear more of it, you know.
But I feel like with this new age of digital media, because even though our company is like really big on social and we look at numbers every day, literally our people are texting right now in a group of how many people are on the site right now, and you do get consumed with it. But I feel like if you found a pianist, do you play the piano?
I don't.
Okay. If you found a pianist and just sang covers in your way of the shit that's out now, people would be like, this is way better than that. I think. I think.
It all depends, I guess, on the people, the song. I mean, there's so many factors. How can you just generalize things like that?
Because I'm listening to the music. It's just like gospel music. Like right now I'm on the Andrea Johnson, but you know, I love like Karen Clark Sheard and the Clark sisters that's music to me. So some of this other stuff that pops up, I'm like, okay, I like Tasha Cobb. I like certain people, but I like vocalists. People
You
who
like
can,
what you like.
Yeah, if you have to put like a ton of Melodyne on it or a ton of whatever that other little machine, what's that stuff called?
I know what you're talking
You
about.
know,
Like the auto-tune.
she don't know because she don't use it.
You're right about that.
Yeah, you got to use auto tune and Melodyne, and you got to be in a small little confined space with a light, and you got all this extra shit. You're not in my iPad, my iTunes.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, switching gears, Jason does this show called Problematic, okay?
Right.
Where he picks these, you know, celebrities or trending topics or people who are problematic. You probably won't get an
I'm
episode
not gonna
because
get
you
an
are
episode.
like the least
No, listen, I've
problematic.
been told. I've been told, can no PR be done? I've been told by a PR person that I don't have enough drama in my life.
You really don't. I mean, you married your high school sweetheart.
No, it's so funny because before she came in the room, I'm like, okay, so
What's the
what drama
dirt?
she got?
What's
Yeah.
that?
She said she's the least drama,
Least
R&B
problematic.
star.
That's
like,
the
yes.
problem.
Period. No,
Yes.
but it shouldn't be that way. But it
I
is
know
those
it
times.
is.
I'm
Yeah.
like, has she had an affair? Is she? She's been married to her high school sweetheart.
You've been married to your high
You're
school sweetheart.
perfect.
So
You're
I can give it. I am not perfect.
mom of
I
3
have a
kids.
lot of. I have a lot of imperfections that I've learned to not let anybody know about, because that's if once people know your imperfections, then they will just use that shit against you. So
Oh, yeah, I know.
nobody knows what that
Yeah.
is.
But I love that you said shit 3 times in this interview, which means that
That's probably the only
there's
curse
humor.
word. That's not even a curse word. But yeah, I know. I'm very. I'm also not. I'm just. I can be conservative, very conservative, and I came up in a time where it was about being classy. You didn't say certain things. You don't chew gum
Swear to
during
God,
an
she's
interview.
like my soul
We're
sister.
a Canadian soul sister.
like I feel like there's a template, and it's pretty much, again, the people we've named who have been able to have successful careers in music without not knocking the people that have to twerk or be naked every day. I mean,
Right.
it's your voice. And I don't know. I hope we get back to that.
I hope so too. I mean, I think we are kind of back at a place because everything has been so exposed and so out there that I think people are like, can we just have a
Yeah.
little bit less of, can you just not show it all? I think the mystique and the mystery has come back. I think there are people that want to, they don't want to know everything. Yeah.
How have you been able to balance being a mom and a wife and being Deborah Cox at the same time?
And I've been getting that question a lot lately.
I mean, 3 kids is no,
it's no joke.
Yo,
We do
I
have
have a
to take
dog.
time.
She's a lot. Okay,
Yes.
The
so
third one. That's
I
the,
couldn't imagine.
the third one is a number.
What ages are they?
Yeah.
My son is 16.
Okay.
My daughter's 13, and my youngest daughter just turned 11.
Oh, it's all still fairly
So
young.
it's all fairly
Like,
pretty
son
young.
got a car-
I
son's
get
driving now.
sad because God, and you should see us on
Teenagers.
put us on Insta story sometimes, and I'm just like, this is so weird to see this kid driving me. And I said, son, I can't get used to it. He's like, Mom, you're too nervous. I said, I can't handle it. It's too much. But yeah, so I'm at that age, and I literally was just FaceTiming my daughter, who is just freaking out about this Corona thing, and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm in Starbucks. See, baby, I just got my Starbucks. I'm okay. I have my garlic pills.
Did you wipe
and I'm
off
just trying
everything? Yeah. Did
I
you?
wiped off every. I'm just technology has made it easier to stay connected, and so I do that quite a bit. I'm always texting or whatever, or on FaceTime. I try to prioritize the family. That's a big thing for me.
And you guys live out here
No, I live in Florida.
in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, I lived out here for 8 years, and then when I wanted to start a family and kind of chill, it was like, we need to find a place that's
Yeah,
back
I'ma
on
do
the
the
East
same
Coast,
thing.
but warm. But
God
yeah.
bless you for finding him in high
Yeah.
school, because let me
Yeah.
tell you something. My dating pool is a waiting pool right now.
Oh, dating pool is a waiting pool.
It's a series. I'm
Waiting
starting it.
around.
It's gonna be
Listen,
based on my
every time on Hollywood Unlocked, there's a really crazy, wild, out of control story. The person's from Florida. I don't know what it is
It's
about
like
Florida.
northern Florida, though.
What is happening? Like,
It's like
Yes,
northern
exactly.
Florida.
Make that clear.
Jacksonville.
For real, it's always
Panhandle.
North Florida.
It's
It's
always nuts.
northern Florida.
I don't know. It'd be Florida. I can almost look. As soon as I roll over to Hollywood
Florida
Unlocked, I
man.
go, that person from Florida.
That person.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. Oh my God.
So has there ever been like an R&B beef with you see a Tony Braxton, like, bitch, don't come over here. Like, you ever were you ever mistreated?
Like, I'm going to say that no, I
You
am
been ever
not.
mistreated?
I have been mistreated, absolutely. I've been disrespected.
Really?
I have been talked about.
Tell me what Tamia did.
What to me,
That
of
is
all
my
people.
Here's the
friend.
thing. To
Stop.
me, is
Just
so
stop.
sweet.
I know
Yes.
Shantae
Like-
Moore did something. What did Shantae do?
Oh my God. I am not gonna air out nothing. You ain't gonna hear nothing from me.
Talk
But
about
no,
a
but
viral.
I've always been the kind of person that shakes it off. I don't dwell in it, and I don't engage in it. So I've had moments, and so I would just block that person.
And just go on stage and
And
out sing them,
just-
and then look over at him
There
like,
you go.
Get your bars up,
That
bitch.
you said it. You said it.
I mean, really,
Said
right?
That's what you do.
When you look at like a
You
group like
out-sing
In
them.
Vogue, and they just couldn't.
Oh, killing it.
But they broke up.
Those
I mean,
are my
like,
girls.
I need
I
all
mean,
four Cindy, Max, Terry.
need all
like,
four.
Don, I need all. Yeah, I refuse to entertain
whatever is
I
going
like
on now.
Rona. Happy birthday or whatever. But
They're dope. Stop. You need to stop. Look, there's so many dynamics that happen in these groups. People have no idea what this industry can do to break great situations apart. You know what I mean? I think that's the part. That it's sad because once you're a fan of somebody or of a group or something, and then you hear about all the drama and stuff, it changes the whole perspective, and you could lose the love for them because of all the crazy, but you don't know what caused that crazy. You know what I mean? So just.
Well, when you look at what the Grammys did to Lettucey and put it, or Oscars, whatever, pull Lettucey on through Beyonce, and we know what that is.
On what?
You remember when she sung, was it Selma, from Selma?
Yeah, I remember.
Lettucey,
yeah.
She had sung that song, like it was Lettucey's song, and then Beyonce performed it, I think, at the Grammys or the Oscars. And Lettucey just fell back and didn't say anything. And I texted her like, girl, I'd have been out there. But, again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that was, I think that was like a color or popularity thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it is
industry's
Beyonce.
weird.
I do love
industry
Lettucey, though. I love Lettucey.
I love Lettucey. She's dope.
she's
Listen, I've
everything.
seen her not just do what she does on stage, but that woman
She can sing.
can sing.
She can act.
down and act. And she did a workshop for I won't name it. I can't say anything, but anyway, she did a workshop. So as an artist, like as a singer who can do like musical theater, she can switch it and do all of that as well.
Well, have you thought about doing like a master class? I mean, because
I would absolutely do it.
Yeah, but you could do it online. He just
Yeah.
created a
Oh, I
whole
didn't see
series where he's showing people how to get into broadcasting and this and that. You need to
Yeah,
show
you're right.
her. Because
Give
you
me
I
can,
got
more
you.
work.
you could, no, but you could do it.
It's work, but it's worth
work.
it. And
You're
I think
right.
people of your that's where you at,
You have the credits.
benefit for it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Listen,
Noted.
Because people could just rent it all over they could buy it all over the world. So if they pay
Right.
$500 for a course or $1,000 for a course, they can buy it anywhere in the world. You have fans everywhere.
Right.
But more than
Deborah,
the
stop
money,
playing.
you're helping people
Nah,
Yes.
the right way.
Forget all that. We want
You're right. You
10%.
said
Line it up.
No.
that's hysterical.
More than anything, I feel like people that's in this industry need the guidance, and
Absolutely.
that's why a lot of times you might not get the respect or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're able to personally give that touch and help the next generation.
Right. Yeah.
That's how
You're
you'd
right
be able to
about that.
mentor on a large
Exactly.
scale.
I mean, you got the gay
using-
community already. You got our people.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
Could you
I-
imagine someone making it and then they're saying, I learned from Deborah Cox? It's
Right.
a different kind of feeling.
True.
Okay, so you're a Canadian, so you have a philanthropic spirit.
Yes.
And it says that some of your latest moves are activism. So, what are some of the charitable causes that are near and dear to your heart?
Oh my, so many.
Mm.
I mean, AIDS-related stuff, the stuff dealing with, transgender. I just did something with the Trevor Project. I think it's really about just constantly keeping, the emphasis on authenticity. And I don't think I think now that conversation is now coming to the forefront, but it has always been something that has been, I guess people are scared to just talk about being real, being their real, true, authentic self. And that includes transgender. And I think now the conversation for me, because I've been doing so much in the LGBTQ community, AIDS is not as much of a conversation, but it's this idea of transgender, who is transgender, what is transgenderism, what is all of that? How do you figure out what and who do you love? You know what I mean? So I've been moving a lot more into that conversation and just kind of helping people to figure that out, loving unconditionally.
What do you think about how Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are raising their daughter?
That is, could you imagine? I mean, I'm looking at it from a perspective of being a mother. How could you look at your child and in their eyes, and how can you deny what they're feeling in their soul? You know what I mean? Like you're playing God at that point if you're going to pass judgment on them and make them feel, and you're not allowing them to be who they really are. And so I would never ever want my child to feel not loved by me because they feel like they can't be their authentic self. Like that would just kill me and crush me. And so I applaud Dwayne and Gabrielle. I mean, their whole family dynamic is really, really complex. And they have just been, so supportive and championing her decision, And I mean, I think the first experience that I had hearing about that kind of thing was I met this little girl who knew when she was very, very young. Her name was Jazz. And I met her years ago. And she transitioned. I met her when she was a boy, and then when she transitioned. And she knew then who she was. She was so solid in knowing who she was that I just couldn't deny, like, this girl knows that she's a girl inside. She was born in the wrong body.
Yeah, we've had three guests on the show that are transgendered.
Right.
Two, one that was born a girl, transitioned into a boy, and two in the reverse. And that was always my first question of, like, how old were you when you knew or got that feeling that you were born into the wrong body? And Sydney Starr said she was like 6 or something like that. I'm not sure what TS said. But yeah, I mean, I'm of like mind of you as you, like, just as a parent, like, yeah,
I mean,
just somebody watching, like, I'm proud of Gabrielle and Dwayne for handling it so, in such a dignified fashion.
What I loved about, because when I ran into Dwayne and Gabrielle at All Star, I said to her, hey, I said to both of them, I said, I really applaud you for how you're standing for your daughter. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially you being an NBA star in this whole testosterone world of basketball, and you as the stepmom, and Gabrielle could have said anything. She said, well, we don't know everything and we're trying to get it right, but if you ever see us not doing something right, please tell us.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay.
That's dope.
But that comes from a place, I think, of not tolerance, but acceptance of who your kid is, and just love for your child and wanting to be the best parent you can to support them.
She's a Scorpio, so she's going to love fiercely.
There was a story years ago, growing up, when this was like crazy. This, I think, was the first time I'd ever heard about this idea of someone being born with the wrong genitalia. And it was a doctor who, some of these kids were being born with 2
hermaphrodites.
Yes. And the doctor chose
which one that they kept.
Yes.
Wow.
So could you imagine being one of those kids who,
who the gender was chosen
the gender
for
was
them,
chosen for them, and then the doctor ended up
yeah. Wow.
And I think acceptance happens when people start to learn that the world is much bigger than what they're going through. It's multi-layered and Okay, so talk to us about influence over at BET.
Oh, Influence is on BET Plus.
BET
So
Plus.
it's streaming.
Okay.
So I got offered this role to play Savannah, who is this award-winning songstress who
that's my middle name.
Is it Savannah? Oh, okay. What's the connection? So she, long story short, it's like a legal thriller, and she is accused of killing her husband. My husband is Anthony Hamilton, and we didn't have a lot of scenes together, but I just got to say, it was.
Wait, he was your husband?
He's my husband.
Wait,
in
you
the
didn't have a
movie.
lot of scenes together because you killed him.
Damn. Wait, she's accused of killing him.
I'm accused of murder.
So we don't know if she killed him.
We don't know.
She did that shit.
You have to see.
He's a sweetheart.
Anthony's
a sweetheart. Yeah.
And so funny. A lot of people don't know that funny side, but he's hilarious. But it's a really great cast. It was Roger Genevieve Smith, Kalita Smith, Gary Dordan, Columbus Short. I mean, it's a nice, solid cast.
Did you ever on break with Columbus say, "How's Superhead"?
Listen, our first.
I was just waiting for Jason to say something. I was
my
waiting.
first day was we had a very, it was a very interesting scene together. But
Wait,
but it was
I love
super
seeing,
cool. Yeah, you got to see the movie.
I would have disinfected him
Oh
down.
my gosh, you're so good.
Oh, Deborah, I would have gave you some gloves, a mask. I'd have got some
God.
Clorox wipes and wiped that
He
ass
was
down.
super cool.
Ain't nothing wrong with
and
Columbus.
chill.
Man. Leave him alone.
Dope actor. Listen, talented, and the whole cast was solid.
Besides my own book, I've never sat down in one sitting and read an entire book except for Superheads. So after reading that book, if you have to do a love scene,
I've never read it.
No, but you ain't missing that. You're
No,
saving
I
brain
would
cells.
never- Okay.
Melissa, you know,
Her first one?
yeah.
Oh,
She
there's
mentioned?
two? There's more?
No, I'm just saying.
3.
I read
and
it.
she's trying to write another one.
No, I'm just saying. I sat and read it in the mall.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Read it. I just sat there.
It was torrid. Yes.
Oh my God.
So would you ever write a tell-all about like you have to write a tell
She
about
got
these
married
girls?
to her high school sweetheart.
No, I know, but look,
A
listen.
tell-all? I mean, I would absolutely talk about my life and
Yeah.
some of the things that have happened to me in the industry.
It's your
and
truth.
Who was evil to me? And
Ooh.
yeah, there were some juicy moments.
Seriously.
I would absolutely
Drop the book.
No, drop the book.
Drop it.
And then I say that today, and tomorrow I'll be like, no.
Speaking of dropping the book, R. Kelly hopefully ain't dropping the soap. What do you think about like the whole R. Kelly scandal, Robert? Like, cause
Listen,
I mean, you know, you've been in the industry for a minute. So you
Abuse
know.
is abuse, and the law will take care of it. I mean, you cannot get away with. Look, Harvey Weinstein, all that stuff. You know, your karma is something. It comes back.
Were you a fan of his before? In the years before all this
I
came
went
out.
on tour with it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
You were on tour with
you
R.
went
Kelly?
on tour with R. Kelly.
Really?
Okay.
It was
so-
myself.
Aaliyah.
It was no. Myself. Oh my God! But it was a very interesting lineup. It was myself. I think it was. I can't remember.
3LW.
I just remember that the promoters ended up. You know what? That'll be in the book.
Okay.
How about that?
Promoters
How about
ended up
that?
saying,
It'll be
this
in the book."
motherfucker's crazy. We can't do
They
this
always
anymore.
used to say, Deborah, we love your crew. You guys are so cool. So now, every single venue we went into.
Because they were the sane
Because
ones.
we were the sane
and everybody
ones.
else was crazy.
Oh my
You know,
God.
but she could have saved herself from Robert. All she had to do was put outside her dressing room. You have to be this old to ride this ride.
I
He
would
would have
never
never
see him anyway. We would never see him anyway. See, there you go. R. Kelly, Foxy Brown, Busta Rhymes, Deborah Cox, team up for tour.
Oh, that's
see, it's
a-
Yeah, I
all
heard he had like
online.
a-
It's
That
all
wasn't-
online.
No, I heard he had like a cold B or whatever when he would perform, and everybody had to like leave the hallways. And
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
this
you couldn't
whole.
look at him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
was
can't
a lot.
look at him.
Really?
It was a lot. There was a memo that went out.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is what I'm saying about this
People
industry,
said this,
man.
though,
And
publicly.
people did come on. It's just not that deep.
With people's
Like,
eccentricities, and I use that term
We have a lot of 'em.
loosely, does it affect your love of their music? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You're like, oh,
I'm
no.
just-
Yes.
I lose my desire to
Mine,
listen to
me
their
too.
music anymore.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, because the
Hashtag me
music is
too.
deep. Like music is deep for me. Like if you're singing about something and then I find out that there's another thing that was happening, and then I'll listen to those lyrics again.
And they take on a different
and they Take on a
context.
different yeah, exactly. They take on a different context.
AJ none but a number.
That
That's why I
Music
can't
is
really listen to
deep.
Robert no more,
You
man.
have somebody remind you of a Jeep.
He want to ride
Ain't
it.
nothing wrong with a little
That
bumper
being
guy.
said,
Yeah. Well, listen, we love you. So music-wise, what's next?
what's next? More music. I'm in the studio with Rico Love. We've
Hey,
been doing a
Rico.
lot. Yeah, Rico's dope.
Now, Rico, they should have
Family.
fired the girl over at the Grammys, though. I told him myself. They should. I like
you
her.
say that?
Yeah, I told him. I said, when you gonna come on the show? He was like, yeah. I said, because you put that girl out. But I like Rico. He's
Yeah.
on the board at
Yeah.
the Grammys.
Yeah. The new single Easy Way, check it out, is already, it's already streaming. It's up on YouTube and everything. So we're finishing up the album as we speak. I'm in Miami. We're all there. We're, in there when we can, because there's so much going on. But this would be the first time I'm working with one producer that is overseeing everything. So he is,
And that's Rico.
the executive producer.
Rico.
Nice.
Yeah, and also writing and contributing. He's so
But he's
talented
he's
and
talented.
just
Smart.
gifted.
Yeah.
Very just amazing music comes from him, and different types of music, not just the same thing, and really finds a way to connect with you to help tell your story. So I love that.
I'm gonna tell Rico, Deborah Cox had more courage than you to come on our show.
That part.
Rico. No, but we appreciate you coming up
Thank
here.
you.
Yes.
I've
Thank
always
you.
enjoyed you.
Thank you so much.
Anybody
I
who can
appreciate
sing
it.
and get the gay community behind them,
Yes,
for years.
and they have been there solid, unconditional. It didn't matter what project I was doing. If I did Broadway, if I did jazz, if I did R&B, if I did dance.
And not
It's
just black gays,
I
you
love
got the
it.
white gays.
Everybody. I love it.
Have you ever done the white party in Palm Springs?
Oh, yeah. How many
right?
times have I? I just
Okay.
did, was it 25th anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we love you. Come back
Thank
anytime.
you so
Yes.
much.
All right, we're out of here. Peace.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
What up, YouTube? Thank you for watching this reckless show.
Yeah, and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.
And also don't forget to share and leave a comment because we are reading.